Welcome back, Warrior Rising family. I am Alyssa, and today we are blessed again to have Dr. Darla Bishop with us. She is the owner of Finances. She's an author. She's the founder. She is an incredible person, a mom, and everything. And today she is going to be sharing some new updates with us. So, without further ado, Darla, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me. I know we just talked what seemed like a
Yeah.
few weeks ago, right after the Saluting Her Service event in DC. And you know what? I had told the other competitors, like, you know what? I'm going to take this $20,000 and turn it to zero and then turn it to 80K. And so
You-
phase one is complete. I have deployed
Oh,
every single dollar of the
yes.
Warrior Rising funds. The money is out working.
Awesome.
But, like, what is so amazing about having the ability to
Yeah.
invest in some things that we were looking at anyway, and to be able to do them all at once instead of kind of this one and then this one is we have the next 4 books in the Piggy Bank Pathway series all in
Wow.
production. And so
Yeah.
by the early part of 2026, we'll have all of the books in the series done, like in
Awesome.
hands. People could buy a whole kit for the whole set for their family or for their school or for their after school program. And I'm so excited to be able to offer that because the book we have, Madeline's Money Adventure, is awesome, but it's for the littles, right? And so what about those kids that are upper elementary or even just getting into middle school? They want something that speaks to them and isn't too little, right? And so we're super excited about that. The other thing that I invested in that we were looking into, but just couldn't pull off by ourselves yet, was one of the best ways that we make money in my business right now, as we're finishing the books and the other materials for the curriculum, is I do workshops and speaking. And we have an okay system for doing that, but I realized that we needed some automations in place. We needed some better tracking. We needed a true CRM. I've just been using notes in my sales the software that we use to collect payments and stuff, and that's just not sufficient to really be able to not only track but also service these bigger clients that can help us use the same amount of energy to go and deliver a workshop, but who have the budget to pay us more for our expertise, right? And
Yeah.
so we spent about $7,500
Yeah.
to pay a company to build, to do a done for us CRM. They
Awesome.
also helped us with some outbound email marketing. They also helped us with just tightening up how we communicate my value as a speaker, as a trainer, as a coach. Because one of the things that I struggle with as a military spouse is the Army has afforded me the opportunity. You see, I've had some
Yeah.
therapy about that, to have like literally 17 different lives, right? Like every couple years, we change everything about our lives and I just roll with it. But
Yeah.
sometimes when you're introducing yourself for the first time, people don't understand. They're like, so which are you? Are you a doula? Are you a financial educator? Are you a healthcare executive? Are you a military spouse? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. All of
All of it. But having another, person to kind of look at that and to help me tighten up the story about why all of those things are valuable to bring me as a trainer, as a teacher, as a speaker has been so helpful. And we've just gotten everything all started up. And within a week, I've already had like 4 sales calls. I booked
wow.
a 3 workshop series with the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. And so even just a week in, I can
Yeah.
tell that that investment is absolutely going to get its return on investment, maybe even in the first month of us running it.
Yeah.
And I'm just so excited about that because I've been out doing the work, right? Like if you look at my numbers, I'm out pitching, I'm out sending emails, I'm out speaking, I'm out posting, I'm out podcasting. So I'm doing all the work. And so to be in the place where I was able to make some investments in our back end so that
Yeah.
all that work I can either do the same amount or maybe even less and bring more money into the business will help all of us in the family.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's awesome. I'm gonna go backwards really quick to your books that are in publication. So are those when did you say they're gonna be ready? Is it like a specific type thing?
No, we won't be ready for Christmas, but we will be like in the first quarter of 2026. We'll have them all out. So as they get ready, I'll put them up on my website. I'll put them up,
Awesome.
wherever you buy books. But then once the full set is ready, we'll put them in bundles too.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome, especially for my 8-year-old. Because I think we had a conversation about that, and I'm like, I'm excited to get a full, like, for his reading level and everything and understanding. I'm like, that is they're starting to learn money in school. I'm like, at home, you still don't understand. So how to save your money or save it up for something else. But I love that. That's good to know. So everyone make a mental note to look in the first quarter, but also to follow you so that they can keep up to date on the production schedule and the bundles. I'm a bundler, so I love that that's an option. And then as far as like the funds, like it is, and we talk about this a lot, especially with the veteran community, like it is so important to have those finances to get your business. I mean, there's so many different things, these softwares that are coming out, the AI platforms. I mean, we have to stay up to date with everything moving so quickly. So if you run into any other challenges that you're looking to eventually use that investment that you get from everything you're doing, what's that next?
Yeah, the next thing that I'm gonna invest in is, um, probably sales a salesperson or sales staff. And actually,
Yeah.
I went to a Warrior Rising, Wednesday night protocol and found a
Yeah.
fantastic service provider who can help match me with the salesperson when I'm ready. Because it's one of those things where I've gotta also start to work myself out of the business, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
right now, so much of business has to flow through me to happen.
Yeah.
And so I've gotta pull myself if there's a pyramid, right? Like right now, I'm the base. Everything starts with me or rolls through me. And I need to start slowly pushing myself to the top of the pyramid so that things are still flowing through me, but after they're completed or discussed or vetted, because that's how we scale, right? Like
Mhm.
being a solopreneur is okay if you only need a certain amount of income or work, but I've got big dreams, so I gotta build something here, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And for those who are looking to, whether they're pitching or or something else, maybe they don't know how to get started. You had a plan with every single penny dollar that you were given to put it somewhere. What is the advice you would give to someone who doesn't know the appropriate way to distribute it for their business?
The first thing I would do is to have a wish list ready, right?
Yeah.
Like, and the I was in a business accelerator that also actually required us to do
Okay.
this, and it was such a useful exercise where I had literally had a list of probably $120,000 of things that I thought could help move the business forward. And I prioritized it based on, well, if I do these things first, what will either create income faster, save us time and energy, or just make things smoother in the business and kind of
Yeah.
put those at the top of the list. And then when I knew I had the 20,000 from Warrior Rising to work with, but then I also had some other grant coming in, the grant money from that was going to be specific. Like I had to use it on certain things. So then I took those things off to the side. It's like,
Yeah.
so what are the things that might be harder to get grant money for? Because they are things that will help my business, but aren't recognized as
Yeah.
grants and valuable to grant makers, right? And so the fact that these funds were unrestricted gave me so much freedom to do those things that I knew would move the needle, even if the grant maker who has another priority set didn't know that. And so make a wish list. If there's things you need in your business, then have a little fun with it, right? Don't think of it as I'm going to make this list of things that I can't afford that we might never be able to afford in the business. Make it as well, if I find some money or some money finds me, because that happens,
Yeah.
I want to be ready because now that I'm getting we're very active in our local media, and some folks are reach out and they're like, "How can I support your mission?" I've got 3 things I need because I've made a list already. And
Yeah.
so whether they can help me with all 3 of those things or just one, because I was ready with I need these 3 things, they were like, "Huh, I can help with number 1. I know somebody where number 2. Sorry, I can't really help with number 3." But I was ready to answer that question because I literally have a list.
Yeah. No, that's incredible. Right? If anyone listening to your workshops, what can they expect to take away?
So the thing that frustrates me as an audience member is don't leave me inspired with
Mhm.
nowhere to put that energy, nowhere to
Yeah.
put that inspiration. And so before you leave any of my workshops, whether I'm talking about how to afford college with not so much debt, whether I'm talking about how to design your career when there's all these things that make it hard for you to have one. Hello, military spouse that moves every 2.7 years. Whether I'm talking to you about how to arrange your budget and your brain so that your money flows smoother, or I'm talking to kindergartners about why they need to pay attention to their piggy bank and how they use that money and how their mom and dad or aunt and uncle or grandma talk about money. I'm always going to leave you with the question of, okay, before you leave my presence, I need you to choose one thing, not 3, not 5, not 17, but one thing you will do this week to move closer to a goal you have. Because we think about making progress as motivation, right? Like, oh, I need to be motivated. I'm not motivated enough. No, no, no. We've got it backwards. It's the action that changes things. Because when you take action and then you take another action and then you take one more action, right? Like all of a sudden you've got a little momentum and then momentum builds your confidence. And that confidence, that's where the motivation comes in. And so
Yeah.
take the action. And so you'll never leave a workshop that I did unless you left early and where you haven't made a decision about one thing you are going to do this week to get closer to what you want your life to look like.
Yeah.
I have been able to get some really fantastic press features on the heels of winning a national award,
Yeah. That's
right?
awesome.
And so we made sure to take the beautiful okay, if you haven't seen pictures from Alyssa, these pictures are hot. Fire, just beautiful, beautiful imagery. So I take those pictures, I put a nice
Yeah.
little spin on it, and we've just been pitching left and right, left and right, left and right. So I'm going to be talking about how I won a national prize through Warrior Rising for the next
That
5 years, because as soon as I can get somebody to pick up on it, that's just more marketing, that's just more credibility for the work we're doing. My local news station came and asked me about the prize, and they made this delicious, delicious headline that I couldn't have paid someone to make. It was Lansing mom wins national prize for her work in kid financial literacy.
boom, I could eat it up.
Like delicious. And
Yeah.
that's from my medium-sized city in
Yeah.
mid-Michigan, but because that headline is so delicious, I've already been outreached by my state's treasury department to see if I
Wow.
can help them with an initiative. A contract that we didn't end up winning this year, I shared that story with them and they said, "We can't work to work with you next year."
Hey.
So I am leveraging. So if you're out here and you have content, let me
Mm.
tell you, your content needs to work as hard as you do. So
Yep.
I don't care if you already shared it 5 times, share it 15.
Yep.
Reshare it, repost it, talk about it again. I just remember, because if you're going to spend 15 minutes with Alyssa on a podcast, and that podcast needs to do at least 15 times that work.
Yeah. 100%. And I like what you said too is repackaging these goods, right? These marketing materials and delivering them. People don't understand that concept too. It's like you're almost creating a portfolio for yourself, your ideal clients. Use all of these different the awards, the press releases, the podcasts, and here you go. Here's a little digital pack, and this is how we can work together. So I love that. I love that's great. This has been a ton of great advice in here. So I hope that people really take it seriously and take some notes.
No,
I'm
I'm just so thankful to the Warrior Rising team for everything you do for veterans all around the world, and the ones who know about you already and the ones who will learn about you soon. Like it's amazing the impact you can have on us as service members and of family members and veterans. And then what that trickles out to for our community, because I spend almost all of my money from my business with Black owned businesses, woman owned businesses, and veteran owned businesses, because that's who I need to support, right? That's who I am. And so the ability to put money not only into my family's house, but to these other people's homes, right? Like
Yeah.
is awesome. That ripple effect is insane.
It's incredible, and like I could talk to you forever. You have so many amazing tidbits and really exciting updates coming back for a part. I'm looking forward to a part three. And I know you're already going to crush the next phase, like 150.
I mean, I got it down to 0 faster than I expected. Like, I
Yeah,
knew I was good at spending money, but
yeah,
I looked and I was like, "Uh-oh, the Warrior Rising money is gone already. Oops."
yeah.
I sent that to work. It is out working. It is deployed every single dollar. I even probably went over about 500, but it's okay. It's okay.
That's okay, and I mean, and that's what a lot of these donors and sponsors wanna hear is that this money is being put to work. How is it being put to work? Because you brief one thing and you hope that that's what they do, and it might shift a little bit, right? You really get money in hand, you're like, "Oh, wow, this is real. Let me, like, make sure my wish list is in line and that the priorities are still the same." So, we're always happy to hear with how did you spend your money, and, like, are they still in business, So it's great to hear that all of the above is like a yes, a resounding yes. So thank you, Darla, so much again for coming on.
Thank you for having me again. This was so fun.
Always. Anytime you let me know and we'll always hop on. But anyone who wants to be in Darla's shoes or wants to know what is Warrior Rising all about, just visit us, warriorrising.org. We'd love to have you at an event, participate, support, whatever that looks like. It is free education. So why not take it and run with it? So we'll tune in every single week. We have a founder spotlight and we'll see you next time.